Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at what's in that. Now, this comes in with a really good presentation. I don't have a lot of room here, so I had to move the box downstairs, but it comes in a really nice giant that wouldn't even fit in this screenshot, and this is on wide wooden box with the words Valkyrie, and I'll leave that in the thumbnail for this video. That way you can see the nice box that it comes in. Then you get this nice case. And inside the case, you're going to get your different cables that you need. Here's the long one, and then you got the nice copper ones I'll show you in a minute. Then you got this power adapter here, which is a pretty good sized brick. Some instructions, and then the unit would be over there, and you got some other, I just hit and knocked all my things off. You have some straps here, and just various things in this box. And this is a really big case, so it can fit it well, and you're probably going to need that because it isn't a small unit. As you can see, it's right over there. We've covered, the Diablos and the Griffins and the signature, the IDSD signature, the blue. Let me just move my planar magnetic headphones and unplug this for a second. And we're going to bring this over here. And here is a nice look at the unit. As you can see, this one has X space, X base, and X presence. We'll get into that in just a minute. Various filters. You have your balanced and your single-ended. And you have your different things you can cycle through, whether you're doing coaxial, optical, line-in, USB, Bluetooth, high-resolution Bluetooth, by the way. There's your X space and your X base, and X presence is there. You can do them singular or all together. You can also hold this in, and you can change that right there, as you can see. Then you have your different filters here, and we'll get into what those do as well. And then we're going to swing this around the back, and you see you have your outputs right here, left and right. You have line outs, 3.5 and 4.4. You have USB inputs. You can use both of these for charging if you set it in the settings. You do that by holding two of the buttons together. And this thing is heavy. And the only other thing is on the bottom, you have the nice little rubber feet. And you also have your IE match, 4.4 off or 3.5. Really nice. Can you hear this? Nice volume knob, which is also the power button. And you can do that to mute it as well. So it's a really nice looking product. And I'm going to try to not have that in my way because I got to do this. Alright, so design-wise, the thing is built like a bloody tank. It's 30 millimeters thick. It's a solid, obviously there's electronics and it's not solid. The Ifi, if I was going to redesign this just a little bit, the Ifi logo should have lit up. And the screen, this big space here, this should have been the screen, like maybe make the screen a little bit bigger. Other than that, it's designed perfectly. I don't think you're going to be able to put this in your pocket. I mean, I think I had a couple of shirts where I could get away with, and some cargo pants that I could get away with the Diablo. But it is transportable. This will run anything you put on it. Anything you stick in this, it's going to run. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's, a set of planar magnetics, or if it's just a hard to drive, like 800 ohm or whatever you have. I don't think there are any 800 ohms out there. There used to be, like years ago, there used to be some really high ohm headphones from AKG. But you know what I mean, like 350s, 600 ohms, stuff like that. Yeah, this will run anything. It has the power to run anything. portable and desktop. It goes into even a higher mode when you plug it in, and you can use it as a desktop mode, just like the Diablo. It's basically an improved, much larger version of the Diablo. This thing has a good weight to it. You're not going to be taking this jogging. So this one has all kinds of good tech in it, and we're going to just go over that in a minute. So let's go into some of the filters. You have Bit Perfect, you have GTO. Now obviously Bit Perfect is no digital filtering. You know, it's standard. Most people like that one. I use that a lot on some of the other ones too. You have GTO, minimal digital filtering, no pre-ringing, you know, modest post-ringing. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Appetizing. Modest filtering on it. Then you have transient aligned, which is maximum filtering. You have standard, which is another modest filtering. And you have minimum, which is minimum filtering. So you have a bunch of different filters there. Then you have X-Base. Obviously, that is easy enough to figure it out. X-Base is the, you know, the lower frequencies. It enhances the bass presence. It can work really, really well. And then there are some music and lower things. If you're listening to YouTube, you really don't need that for certain types of music and certain, you know, headphones and everything that you have. But it does work well. X presence. Now this enhances the presence, it enhances the vocals, the mid-range. It's a mid-range enhancer. X bass makes it wider. You know, it enhances the soundstage with a little, you know, you trade off some of the sharper details in the soundstage on different equipment using that. It does have a quad Burr Brown chip, which surprisingly I didn't know this, but they're owned by Texas Instruments now, which I had a lot of things that have Texas Instruments chips in them as well, and Burr Brown now is owned by them. I love the Burr Brown chips. It is the DSD 1793 chip DAC, and it's just really, really good. It's different, you know. I'm so used to like ESS and AK and some of the other ones, like I said, Texas Instruments, and now Burr Brown is owned by them, so good for them, you know. I hope the company continues, because I actually love almost all their stuff is Burr Brown, except for like the dongles. Those are usually ESS. So it does have that nice sound. It gives it a little bit of warmth. Now, that said, the Valkyrie, I think, is very, very good dynamically, as usual. Hint of warmth. But I think that this one has just a little bit more brightness, a little bit more in the treble, at least for most of the stuff that I was listening to. And it's not harsh or anything. It just gives it a little bit sharper edge and a little bit better presence overall. Not, you know, using the presence filter, but it does a really, really good job there. There's extremely low noise, and you have the IE match to make that even better. Running on high gain, I ran planar magnetics, no problem. All the different ones that I have. Easy to drive things, sounded okay. There was some kind of a little buzzing at really low volumes, but other than that, that's not a problem, because I'm not going to be listening to things at the extremely low volumes anyway, and that was just using the Bluetooth. Other than that, it ran really, really well, and I'm going to go over some of the different things here. So once again, go over the specs on this beast. The DAC chip is a 4x DSD 1793 Burr Brown chipset. Inputs: Bluetooth 5.4, USB-C, Toslink, SPDIF, 4.4mm and 3.5mm. Outputs are 4.4mm, 3.5 for headphones, and an unamplified line out. The Bluetooth codes are aptX lossless, aptX Adaptive, aptX LDAC, LHDC, HWA, AAC, and SBC. So it supports basically all of them, especially the good ones, like the lossless and the LDAC, which I love. Had PCM data rate up to 32 bits at 768 kilohertz, DSD at 512 with DSD 1024 resampling. I don't think I own anything with DSD 1024. I got a lot of equipment, and I don't believe I've had anything past the 512 before. SNR is 116 decibels and audible. The THD is 0.002%. Very dark background. Like I said, the only part I had was at extremely low volumes using the Bluetooth. I had this little bit of, and that was with extremely sensitive balanced armature IMs like the West Tones and a couple of other different ones that had like extremely low power. Now the output power on the balanced on this is 2,250 milliwatts at 64 ohms. And it is 640 milliwatts at 600 ohms. The single-ended is 2,258 milliwatts at 32 ohms and 160 milliwatts at 600 ohms. Output impedance on this via the 4.4 millimeter is 3 ohms, and it is, 0.3 ohms via 4.4 and 0.2 ohms via 3.5. The power draw is 3.5 watts with normal, 6.5 watts with turbo, and 13 watts with the nitro. The battery capacity on this probably makes up a lot of the weight besides the aluminum, is 20,000 milliamps. It's a 74 WH. Real capacity depends on the depth of the discharge and the charge ceiling. The overall dimensions of this is 172 by 160 by 30 millimeters, and the weight is 882 grams, just to give you a brief thing with it. So sound-wise, like I said, very good dynamics, extremely good clarity. You get a ton of filters, a ton of enhancements, maybe a custom EQ I would have added to the mix. And like I said, I would have made the screen bigger and maybe made this light up if it wasn't the whole screen. Other than that, it's a beautiful product. It has plenty of inputs and outputs. It has just the most power of anything I've used so far, with the exception, I'm trying to think, was it 1600 on the little thingamy-bob? This one had a lot of power to it, and this is a DAP. And this one was pretty powerful, which is amazing considering its size. But for like just ultimate driving power, if you have expensive headphones that are high, they don't even have to be expensive. If you have 600 ohm headphones, rejoice. There is something that you can take, and it's not easy to take. This does have some good weight to it, but you do have something to take with you that sounds absolutely phenomenal. Compared to like Cord products or something, I don't know. This has that typical Ifi sound. I think that the unit itself just does the treble extension a little more. But as for like Ifi things, it is that Ifi in-house sound, that Burr Brown chipset, with a little bit more elevated treble in the treble region. And like I said, the X bass, the presence, and the X bass, just very, very good overall. See, I've used this for like an hour, and I still got plenty of charge on it as well. It has a good charge. It has very good low noise under almost every circumstance you can think of. And it did. It handled the IEMs well. It handled full-size headphones well. There's not much more to say other than the thing is solid as a rock. And this video is getting really, really long because this is a very complicated item. And I would like to also note that this is actually extremely easy to use. Like I said, you just hold this in and you go through those. And then you can also do the X space with that one, and you do this. And you can also hold this one in, and then you go into the settings, and you can go up and down the settings using the dial to do your different settings here, as you can see. So it's very easy to use overall. This is the power button here. It shuts it off, it turns it on. It's also the volume knob. Very simple, not a lot of bells and whistles to worry about. The controls are simple, and it's written what they are, and some of them are dual purpose and some of them aren't. It goes on very easy. Just hold that down for a second, then you get your little Ifi logo, and then it's on and it's good to go. It goes right back to the volume that you had it on, and it tells what you were listening to before. There's the DSD 512, 22 megahertz. Very satisfying little click with the volume, and it's very responsive. Overall, just a really great product. Okay, we're past the 15-minute mark. I know I don't usually make videos this long, but this is a big product. And like I said, it comes with the case and all the accessories and cables that you're going to need. And then it comes in that big box. It's like a giant version of the box that the Kensi came in, the Go Bar. It's just a nice wooden box with the nice carved details and everything. Very, very excellent unboxing presentation with this unit, and very good overall performance with this unit. This is the next one. You've had people have shot for the Diablo. This is the next one to shoot for. This is the big guy on the block, and it handles everything perfectly well. Head to head with the Cord, I think that I would actually pick this one because of all the features that it comes with, not to mention the balanced and everything else. Thank you again for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.